we're back, folks, and welcome. We're talking again about trends that are affecting coaches, consultants. I'd say it's also affecting freelancers, trainers, maybe even content creators right now could jump onto this because you guys are experts in your domain, in your thing. So we don't want to get left behind. We don't want to realize that our business has become the blockbuster business of this decade. We don't want to get left behind doing one-to-one work. We want to scale it, but we've got to scale it in a way that the industry is growing. You can't scale it with the wrong things. Otherwise, you're investing time, money, energy, and resources into creating something that scales, but it's not what your clients want. So that's why these industry trends are so important. Today, I'm going to share with you something that I learned from the ICF research about coaching trends. ICF is the International Coaching Federation, and they take a whole bunch of resources and events and they compiled that into some trends research. And I love this one because I feel like it's validated by a third party, but this is something that I have been saying for a long time now because I've noticed it myself. I'm going to talk to you about how things are starting to blend, how clients are really looking for a tangible outcome. And if you're like me, you kind of started your career or your entrepreneurial journey as a consultant or a freelancer. Maybe you did some coaching as well, or you've been a coach and now you do some consulting, or you do some training, or you do some freelancing on the side, or maybe you've just stuck at one of those. Then you'll notice how these fit so well together in helping the client achieve their goal, which ultimately means you have a business model that is so successful. What this is going to help you to do is it's going to help you to stay ahead. It's going to help all of us to create something that is going to be in demand tomorrow instead of trying to replicate something that worked 10 years ago. And like I say, I'm really happy because it validated something that I've been saying for a long time. More on that in a bit. The last time that happened was on LinkedIn, actually. I'm feeling like maybe my hunches are starting to come true. I'm going to share with you about coaching and consulting trends. I'm also going to share with you what I think is frankly one of the most disappointing things that happens in this industry, and something that you could probably leverage and you could gain massive competitive advantage if you're interested. So it's actually looking at coaching and consulting right now. Let me share with you, first of all, what it says on the ICF website, because I feel like that will set the tone for what is going on here. And we've got a term for it. You're going to love it. But what we're doing here is we're talking about demand continuing. I'm going to read from their website now for you, to increase more hands-on and integrated coaching and consulting. Now, this stems from the agency model, where you get on a coaching call and then you realize you should be doing something. The person themselves, the client, doesn't have any time. They already feel massively overwhelmed and they don't even know what they're doing. So what do? They find an agency or outsource to somebody on Fiverr these days, or a freelancer. Now, this is what's becoming in demand. This blend of coaching and consulting working together. It's about providing the clients that need it with that coaching space, the space for them to figure things out, to connect with their thoughts. I talk a lot about conscious thinking, that we've forgotten how to do it. And if we really did it, we'd know the answers. We'd see these things coming to light. And then when you're on that call, being able to then guide that overwhelmed, that person that's thinking, holy moly, how am I actually going to do any of this? Being able to guide them to the next step in their journey and hold their hand. Now, they're overwhelmed already. So it's about putting support systems in place. I'm going to read this again from the website. Coaches are offering more one-on-one client sessions in conjunction with a consulting work or step-by-step courses or agency services to increase client results. Ultimately, enhancing the results in these programs, that is what is going to get you referrals. It's going to keep the client working with you longer on their next project and their next project and their next project. It's the perfect flywheel of clients, of long-term value, of big relationships and impact. Because ultimately, I don't know about you, but I came into this business because I wanted to have an impact that I wasn't having in my corporate career. And this gave me that. So to work with a client, to take their money, to work with them for a long period, to put in effort, and for them not to get the results, how does that feel? To me, that feels empty. That feels like I've done something wrong. And sometimes you haven't. It comes back round to that client's situation. They're overwhelmed, they're stressed, they don't have the know-how, and they don't have the capacity to do any more. That's where this blend. So they're terming this as coach-sulting. That's right. We're blended the word coach with consulting and put coach-sulting. There's an element of consulting, is not necessarily doing, but this is why I say I think it affects freelancers. When you're going and you're thinking of how do I grow, how do I scale, what do I do next? This is going to provide great opportunity for you as well. Coaches, I want you to start working with consultants. I want you to start working with freelancers. I want you to start thinking about agencies to partner with. And you could really take this further and look at all the creators in your space that are experts in their domain knowledge that you are not. And you pair that with your coaching. Or maybe you're a domain expert, but you're not great at the teaching element. Pair with the creators. Okay, so I didn't want to shower you with ideas. In case you hadn't noticed, I'm an ideas person. So we get in a room, we get on a call, and the flip chart comes out and the whiteboard markers, the sticky wall stuff. And we eventually get to an answer, but we've gone, we've explored the whole picture. I'm going to put this down into 3 areas that I think would probably umbrella how you can approach this really simply. Because I understand right now, if you're not any of these people, it will feel very overwhelming. I know, right? And even if you are these people, it also feels very overwhelming because you're all of a sudden looking at a caseload of not just coaching clients, but now coaching and consulting. And that involves a lot more work and a lot more one-to-one work, which is categorically not the direction you want to go in. So the first thing you can do, and I'm going to come to something that's a bit disappointing in a minute, but the first one that I want you to do is, if you love to be hands-on and you love the coaching and you love the variety is the spice of life, right? Then you can split your work. You could have a split timetable. At some point, this is not scalable. So you will need to bring in other team members or outsource as well. Just know where those boundaries are and stick to them. Know what your scaling limits are. But also know that for a lot of your coaching calls, they can become group sessions. So there's so much opportunity, so much scope. That's number 1. Number 2, if you're not a hands-on person, you're a coach. You're a pure and purist coach. And I know loads of you. I admire you for your amazing tools and how you stick so well to your role in that relationship of not giving them all the answers. When you're a pure coach, you want to find an agency or a partner company, partner freelancer that you can pair with to do the consulting or the doing side of the work. And you might do that for a revenue share or a commission kickback or something like that. And that gives you great opportunity and scope to scale. But on the front end, you create a combined offer. That's the valuable piece there. That's what people are buying into. You just got to make sure that when you provide the service, it's seamless. People don't think they're dealing with 2 different companies. Okay, number 3. I don't see this enough. And frankly, it's a disappointment. It's a crying shame. I know so many people, experts in this sector, who are ambitious, who have got missions and visions that go so far beyond themselves. But sometimes those missions and visions are the same as other people. And instead of joining forces and collaborating, they're going it alone. And they're like the single island saying, look at me, I've got limited resources and I've got limited time and everything, but I'm trying to do it on my own. And I don't want to be with you. And it's almost like there's an ego thing going on there that says, I must be the personal brand. I must be the person. And if we let go of our ego for a second, we just set it down on the side over here, we could probably move forward and collaborate with more people. Give me a thumbs up below if you agree. Really, seriously, give me a thumbs up if you think more collaboration is what's in order here. This is where you collaborate with somebody with a shared mission, a shared vision. You work together on providing the solution and the offer more closely. And this is where you can have a huge, huge impact. Okay, in a nutshell, the coaching is becoming more specialist. And with domain knowledge, you compare with the consulting model and you create more of a done with you or done for you program. And this is the type of holistic solution that clients are going to start to look for if they're not already in your area. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. You can now go and plan more strategically what your new product ecosystem, your scaling strategy is really going to look like for your business. I hope that you've enjoyed this. Please let me know in the comments what you've learned.